And if you have young children like I do, you know that those fingerprints are on the wall. These kids are touching the walls. They've just had a plate of jollof rice, they will touch your walls. They've just had a plate of eba and egusi stew. My daughter will touch the wall. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, The Bulletproof Life. My name is Ronke Odewumi and I'm delighted to have you here. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 things that I do that make me feel rich. For a lot of people, feelings have a lot to do with how we relate with money. We spend when we are feeling down. We spend when we want to comfort ourselves. We buy ourselves nice things when we are happy. We reward ourselves by spending money. When we spend money, we feel good. So how we deal with money has a lot to do with our feelings. So I'm going to be sharing with you today 10 things that make me feel rich. Because when I feel rich, I'm less likely to reward myself by spending. When I feel rich, I calm down. When I'm feeling rich, I don't get the urge to do quick high street shopping, buy things that are cheap, that won't last, and all of that. My feelings have a lot to do with how I relate with money. When I feel rich, then I'm also thinking about my pension. I'm thinking about securing myself for the future so that I can actually live a rich life going forward, not just now, but in the future. So let's get right into these 10 things that make me feel rich. The first one is a clean space. Honestly, a clean space makes me feel rich. When my house is clean, when it's tidy, I feel like somebody who has used a housekeeper, even though I'm actually the housekeeper. I'm the one that's doing the cleaning, but I pretend to be a housekeeper and I clean my own house to a T, and then I sit down and I enjoy the cleanness of it. It was my birthday this month and a lot of my friends asked me, what are you doing for your birthday? What have you done for your birthday? I said, I'm going to clean. I'm going to clean my house. The week before my birthday, I cleaned my house. I cleaned everything. I washed doors. I wiped fingerprints off walls. And if you have young children like I do, you know that those fingerprints are on the wall. These kids are touching the walls. They've just had a plate of jollof rice, they will touch your walls. They've just had a plate of eba and egusi stew. My daughter will touch the wall. So I went and I cleaned my space. Now, I'm not saying you should only clean your space when there's a special occasion like a birthday, but you should clean your space regularly because you can maintain the feeling of cleanness. If you go to the house of rich people, it's always clean because usually they have housekeepers, but you can give yourself that joy. You can give yourself that special feeling, that special experience by having a clean house. So a clean house is the first thing you need to do to get that rich feeling. The second thing you need to do is to declutter your house. Have you seen how magazines show houses? When they show you nice houses, they don't have clutter everywhere. They don't have shoes lying around all over the place, a blanket here, a cup there, cups all over the bedroom floor. They don't have that. They have tidy spaces. They don't have empty boxes. That phone that you bought 2 years ago, you still have the box, taking up space somewhere. They don't have empty Amazon boxes in the hallway. They don't have all those things hanging around. The houses are decluttered. And so the second thing you need to do, that I do, that makes me feel rich, is decluttering my space. Now, I'm not saying get rid of things that you normally use, because a lot of us, you might say, well, Ronke said I should declutter, so I'm getting rid of my sofa, I'm getting rid of my cutlery and my plates. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying get rid of things that you don't use. Get rid of things that you're keeping away for that rainy day that never comes. Cartons, boxes, old clothes, expired batteries, things like that. We all know what these things are. Those things that clutter up our spaces, get rid of them. Once you get rid of them, your house will become more hairy. It will make your house look bigger. Another thing about being rich is that rich people don't live in tiny spaces. They live in nice, hairy, spacious places. So you can make your house, your space look more spacious by decluttering it, by removing things that you don't use anymore. The third thing that makes me feel rich is having an emergency fund. When I have an emergency fund, I feel like I'm adulting properly. I feel like I have money stashed away somewhere like an Escobar. Like I have money stashed away for emergencies. If something happens, I can deal with it. It also means that because I have emergency funds, when I go to work with the consciousness that my boss, my workplace can't treat me anyhow. Not that they do, but that feeling of I can walk away if I have to. It's such a rich feeling. Such a rich people feeling, so wealthy. It's so like, you can't do that to me. I can walk away. So when I have an emergency fund, it makes me feel rich. It makes me feel like I can decide things. I can take care of things. I can sort out situations. I'm adulting successfully and it makes me feel rich. So have an emergency fund if you want to feel rich like I do. Pay your bills at the beginning of the month. Yes, I pay my bills first or second of every month. My bills are done, they're sorted, get them out of the way. Pay your bills at the beginning of the month. What this allows you to do is have play money. Once you've paid your bills, everything else is yours. I feel rich. I feel like I don't have any bills hanging over my head. I don't have any bills waiting to be paid. I don't have to worry about, can I afford to pay that bill? When it's time for you to go, will I still have money in my account? That's not happening because I've paid it first, second of the month. It's done. Done deal. Bills are paid. Roke is sorted. Now I have the rest of my money to say, okay, according to my budget, I can go to Pizza Express once this month. According to my budget, I can go to the stores and buy myself a nice pair of shoes because I need that extra pair of shoes right now. So that feeling that my bills are paid off, it just makes me feel rich. It just makes me feel well to do, like I'm wealthy. So if you want to feel rich, pay your bills at the beginning of the month. Get them out of the way. Get them sorted. So you know that your budget is ticked off and you're not broke. You're not worrying about your ability to pay off your bills because you've done it already. That's what rich people do. They pay off their bills. They don't have to worry about it. Bills sorted. The next one is to live below your means. Yes, live below your means. You know that feeling when you got paid, you've paid your bills, you've bought food, you've bought the things you need, and there's money left in your account. That's rich people feeling. That's a rich people thing. When you don't spend all the money in your account and then you have £10 left on the 22nd. No, that's a poor people feeling. I'm not doing that here. So what I do is that I live below my means. I spend less than I have. So there's money left in my account for me to, one, save, two, invest. Because investing, a lot of people believe, is a rich people thing. And even though it's not, I always tell people everybody should invest. Everybody can invest. The ability to invest makes me feel wealthy. It makes me feel like I have more than enough. When you live below your means, it just gives you that feeling of having more than enough. You've taken care of all your bills, you've bought food, you've bought all the things you need, and there is still something left because you're living below your means. So living below your means is something that I do, which makes me feel rich, and I do it constantly. It's not a one-off. This one is a constant action that I take to help me feel rich. Do box shopping monthly. This one, instead of going to the stores and buying things in bits and pieces, I buy in bulk. Now, buying in bulk saves you money because you get the advantage of bulk buying, but it also makes me feel rich because I open my pantry and I'm seeing 2-3 bottles of things. I'm seeing a full bottle of ketchup and there's one in the fridge already. So I've got that one in the pantry. Somebody's feeling rich. I have extra tissue, a whole box of tissue. Don't buy out the whole store just because you want to feel rich. But, do a month worth of shopping so that you have enough. You have enough to live on. And when you're taking things from the pantry or from your fridge, you're not scrimping and feeling like, oh, it's going to run out, I have to go to the store. I buy in bulk because it helps me feel rich. This one is something that, the weather is changing now, so you might forget it. So try and write it down so you don't forget. An adequately warm house gives you such a rich feeling. It makes you feel cozy. It makes you feel loved. It makes you feel taken care of. So an adequately warm house makes me feel rich. It just makes me feel like I'm doing well. And the way to have an adequately warm house is to put in a thermostat. That concept of switching on the heating and switching it off throughout the day, and 1 minute the house is too hot, 1 minute the house is too cold, it just makes me feel slightly homeless. It makes me feel like I'm struggling, like I'm not just doing well. Why is my house cold right now? And a cold house makes me miserable. That's just me. It just gets into my bones and I don't feel like I can do anything. The whole idea of wearing a jacket indoors, I don't like it. So I like to have an adequately warm house. At the same time, I don't want my heating bills to go over the roof. I don't want to pay and pay and pay for heating just because I want an adequately warm house. So what I do is I use a thermostat and my house stays warm and toasty because I'm using a thermostat. So if you have not been using a thermostat in your house and you're in a country that has a winter season, get one in ASAP. Get a thermostat installed in time for next winter. We are moving out of it now. We're in spring. It's not cold anymore, so you don't really need heating now. So you don't really need heating now. But I would say get your thermostat in time for next winter so that you're sorted and you have an adequately warm house, and you don't have to, hide under 5 different blankets. You know the way shared houses can be when you're not really doing well and you're in a shared house, or you're living in a room in a shared house, and somehow the shared space within that shared house is not heated because nobody's switching off the heating there, and the only place that's warm is your bedroom. You know that feeling? It's not a rich people feeling, is it? So yeah, you don't want that feeling. You want the feeling of I can heat up my whole house, and the way to get that feeling is to use a thermostat. One thing you will always find if you lodge in a luxurious hotel or in a really nice hotel is beautiful bedding. Nice, clean, feel good bedding. Get yourself good bedding. It doesn't even have to be super expensive. It doesn't have to be silk. I like cotton bedding. Silk makes me too hot and it's slippery and all of that. But if you get good cotton bedding with a good thread count and you lay your bed nice and clean, I'm trying to share a picture of my bed here now so you can see what I use. But honestly, clean bedspreads, clean bedding makes you feel rich. It makes me feel rich. So if you want to feel good, if you want to feel like your space is nice and cozy and loving and rich, get yourself nice clean bed sheets. Lay your bed. You don't have to lay it right after you get out of bed, but try and lay your bed every day. Just lay it, stretch it nice. I always use bedspreads that are not flat sheets, those ones that come with elastic at the ends, fitted sheets, so that when I lay it, it grips my bed and stays clean. A flat sheet easily rumples and all of that. I'm just not a fan of flat sheets. I go for the fitted sheets and I lay them tight to my bed. Number 9 is tailored clothing. Tailored clothing makes me feel rich. It's just tailored. It just looks like I'm together. I just feel together. So I'm not a big fan of the ragged, slouchy look. That's just not me. If that's your look, that's okay. But tailored clothing makes me feel rich. It makes me feel like I'm put together because it's standing well, it's structured, it fits my shape, it holds me. And when I move, it moves with me. It doesn't do its own thing. It moves with me because it's tailored. And yes, tailored clothing might require a bit more care than you wearing slouchy clothing, but it just allows you to go out every day looking ready. Even if I need to step out of my house at any point during the day, most of my clothing is tailored. I'll just put on a pair of shoes and I'll step out and I wouldn't look half bad. So tailored clothing is something that makes me feel rich. It makes me feel like I'm lady of the manor, just chilling in my house, ready to go out whenever. You can knock on my door and I'd open the door and I'd be fine to go. Let me tell you a story. So I've got a delivery lady, I think it's Hermes. She's a Hermes lady that delivers packages to my house. The first time she delivered to my house, she knocked on the door. I opened the door. She was like, oh, good. Glad I caught you then. And give me the package. And I was thinking, glad you caught me. I wasn't going anywhere. And she left. The second time, again, she came. She knocked on the door. Oh, almost on your way out, and dropped the package and left. I didn't get a chance to tell her I wasn't on my way out. She dropped the package and she left. And then the third time she came to my house and rang the bell and I opened it. She was like, are you on your way out? I said, no. Were you on your way out the last time? I said, no. Is this how you dress at home? I said, yes. And she said, oh, you look really good. And it's because a lot of my clothing is tailored. And so even if I open the door at any time, my t-shirt is tucked into a nice pair of pants, or I'm tucked into a nice structured skirt and things like that. And one of the things that's helped me cope in the last 18 months, of almost 2 years now, oh my God, of working at home fully is dressing up and dressing nice and then sitting at my desk and getting work done. So I'm less likely to want to roll into bed. I never work from my bed. I never work in my house coat. I'm never dressed up in my pajamas, sitting at my laptop and work. I don't do that. So I get into proper clothing and sit at my desk. I wear my flat slippers. I don't wear heels, obviously, but I wear nice flat slippers and then sit down at my desk. And I feel like I'm in a professional space now. My mind moves into a professional space and I get my work done. And it just makes me feel rich. Bottom line, it makes me feel rich. Number 10, I budget some money for indulgences. When I do my budget and I do my bare minimum, get everything that I need into that budget, I always budget in a little bit of money for me to do something nice for myself. It could be to buy myself a blouse. It could be to buy myself a nice face cream. It could be to buy myself something. I'm going through a phase now where I'm really loving ordinary products and I would buy them from Beauty Bay. And I'd order something nice for myself each month to say, this is my indulgence to myself. Sometimes it could be a bottle of perfume, and I would buy that for myself to make myself feel indulgent. And it works. It just makes me feel good. It just really, really makes me feel rich because I'm able to buy myself something indulgent every month. And if you notice, I said ordinary. So I'm buying myself things that are like £5, £3.50, £7.50. I don't indulge by then going into a store and buying myself a Gucci bag. No, that's not what I mean by indulging myself. But I buy myself something that pampers me. Sometimes it's just a candle. It's just a nice smelling candle that I can light and in my living room or in my bedroom, and when I walk past it, I'm happy because I feel rich, because it's not a need. It's not something that I'm buying because I need it. It's a luxury. Yeah, that's the word. It's a luxury. So I'm buying myself that little luxury, and it makes me feel rich that I can afford it. I can afford to buy myself a little luxury. So it doesn't have to be an expensive thing. It doesn't have to be a £200 thing. It could be something small, but it's indulgent, it's pampering, it's caring for you. It's like self-love. It's giving you self-love. And that's number 10. That's the one thing I do that makes me feel rich. The last thing that I do that makes me feel rich is to count my blessings, to just allow myself to have gratitude moments when I sit down and I just count my blessings. And there are so many of them, and all of us can't do that. It makes you feel rich once you start counting. And the fact that I'm not homeless, I have a house, I have a roof over my head, makes me feel rich. I have a car. It's not new, it's not state of the art, but it's a car. It gets me around, and I'm grateful for that. I can put fuel in it. I don't have to put in £5. I don't have to put in £10. I can put in fuel properly. I can put in half of a tank. I could fill my tank if I wanted. And that makes me feel rich. I'm grateful that I'm able to do that. I have a job. I'm grateful for that. So things like that. You can be thankful for what you have. And there's so much to be thankful for if you look hard enough. Once you cultivate the habit of being thankful, of having those gratitude moments, they just make you feel rich, because everything you are grateful for, everything that you have that you are grateful for, is something that someone else out there doesn't have. So I hope you've enjoyed these 11 things that I do that make me feel rich. Do you do any of them? Are you going to start doing some of them? Let me know in the comment section if these things resonate with you, if these things are the kind of things you want to do or already do, and how they make you feel. If they make you feel rich, do they make you feel happy? Do they make you feel rich? Let me know in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do it by pressing the red button on your right. Don't forget to press the bell so you can get notifications every time I share a new video. Don't forget to press like on this video, smash the like button so that YouTube can share this video to other people like you. Until my next video, you take care of yourself and keep living that bulletproof life. Bye bye.